ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We are studying Atma Bodha, a preliminary text for understanding Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. Before this text, I have taken Tattva Bodha. In case you have not attended Tattva Bodha, I suggest you go to the website and go through the videos of Tattva Bodha. If you have a long-term plan of studying Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads under our website. Today is the fourth session of Atma Bodha. Atma Bodha consists of 68 verses. These are divided into different topics. And like in Tattva Bodha, we have seen that there are 5 main topics. What is the topic which we have covered before? We have covered the spiritual journey, which is the first topic, which went from verse 1 to 5. The second topic was what is the cause of samsara, which is birth and death. What is the cause of that? And the primary cause is I don't know who I am. That was the second topic discussed from 6 to 14. Now we are on the third topic from 15 to 30. And then there are 2 other topics. Currently, we are doing the third topic, which is the main section of Atma Bodha. This goes from verse number 15 to 30. We have covered verses 15 and 16. Today we are going to start the 17th verse. The 15th verse talks about the 5 dresses or veshams which we have. According to Vedanta, we all put on dresses every day when we wake up. Our real Surupam is Atma Surupam. Atma means the self in us. I am of the nature of pure consciousness. He is the ultimate revelation of the scriptures. What is this pure consciousness and what is this body? That is the discrimination I have to make. The whole spiritual journey is a discrimination of Atma and Atma. Atma means pure self, without the medium of body. So what is Atma? Atma is my own self minus body minus mind minus world. Three things. If you are a student of mathematics, it's very easy. A is Atma, keep it in one side. Then the second factor, the three other factors are body, mind, world. Put the body, mind, world into bracket. That is called as Anatma. Anatma means what? Not Atma. So A minus Anatma, A means Atma minus Anatma is equal to Atma. That is how you have to form the equation if you are a mathematics student. For others, doesn't matter. I have to know what is Atma, I have to know what is Anatma, and then I have to drop the Anatma portion and hold on to the Atma. Isn't it simple? When I hear this, it appears very simple. But all this has to be done in your mind. The entire visualization of Atma is done in your mind, for which you need a stable mind. You need a non-fluctuating mind. Suppose the mind is always preoccupied with thought of your son, with thought of your daughter, with thoughts of your business, with thought of everything else in the world, then this mind is not available for Atma Bodha. With this small background, I will get into the 17th verse where we stopped the previous session. Let us first hear Vijaya chanting this verse. She has sung all the verses of Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, and also Upanishads. She has done a wonderful job of chanting.
Sada sarvagato'pyatma Sada sarvagato'pyatma Na sarvatravabhasate Na sarvatravabhasate Buddha vevavabhaseta Buddha vevavabhaseta Svacheshu pratibimbavat Svacheshu pratibimbavat.
So I just gave you what happened in the 15th verse. That is, the five koshas have to be separated from the Atma. In the 16th verse, which was the verse we did in the previous session, in the 16th verse, the same idea is given with an example. You have rice, which is covered with husk. Now, rice is separated from the husk. It's a covering. For those who have seen rice farms, you know that rice is inside and the husk is outside. You remove the rice and then it's an important process. Now, the way you separate the rice from the husk, similarly, Atma has to be separated from the body, mind, and world. This is an initial stepping stone to understand the entire process of discovering our nature. So, two verses we have finished about the Atma Jnanam, which is a central portion of this text. In the 17th verse we are doing now, another very, see, the entire Atma Bodha is written by Shankaracharya in very simple Sanskrit and in a very simple process, very simple text. So that the beginners, they try to understand what they are getting into. Tattva Bodha was simple, it's for the beginners. Atma Bodha is simple, again for the beginners. The moment you come to Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads and Brahma Sutra, the gradation of Atma Jnanam will grow in leaps and bounds. These are all preparation texts. So it's important for you to go through these two texts if you are a newcomer. And if you want to study for the next 2 to 3 years, this entire Shastra. Here, Shankaracharya says, our mind is like a mirror. Atma shines in this mind like a face would shine with a reflection in a mirror. That is the example given in this mantra. Consciousness, which is my real nature, is not limited by the body or mind. It is not limited by the boundaries of the entire cosmos. It exists in manifest form and unmanifest form. World comes and goes. For example, let's take the example of moon and the sun. Does the moon have its own light? Very important question. You may never have asked this question yourself if you don't come to Vedanta. Does the moon have its own light, which I am seeing on a Paurnami day, on a full moon day? We all see a bright moon. Does the brightness belong to the moon, or it is a reflection of the sun on the moon? That is the question. Veda says it is a reflection of the sun on the moon. Moon is like the mirror. It is reflecting the sun. Similarly, mind is like the moon. Sun is like the Atma, which is the awareness, consciousness principle. The moon has its own nature. It has got ups and downs, it has got craters, it's got something. Similarly, mind has got its own attributes of raga, dvesha, lobha. It has got attachment, it's got aversion, it has got jealousy, it's got so many attributes, like the moon. But all those attributes of the mind are revealed, illumined by the Atma. Atma is the spiritual light. It is not like our sun or moonlight. It is the spiritual light of awareness. And it is this spiritual light I have to segregate from our mind. This light, spiritual light, not only shines in my mind, but it is shining everywhere. It is all pervading. But only in the mind I can feel the sentiency. For example, the mirror. Suppose I take my face in front of a stone. Will I see a reflection? No. Suppose I take it in front of a table. Will I see my reflection? No. Suppose I take it in front of a mirror. Do I see a reflection of the face? Yes. Similarly, consciousness is everywhere, but it manifests only in the mind. That is what Shankaracharya is revealing in this verse. Mind is a fine, pure, Shuddha medium, Sukshma medium. In Tattva Bodha, we learned gross body, subtle body. Subtle body is made up of subtle elements. So my mind is a very, very fine instrument for me to experience the world. And in this mind, Atma shines and makes the mind lively. Mind has got two conditions. It manifests the Atma's light in waking and dream. It goes into third condition, which is called as inertia. This is the nature of the mind, not the nature of Atma. Atma is ever shining, self-effulgent principle. The sun, for example, is always shining. When the earth goes in front of the sun, then it gets illumined. When the earth turns around at night, it becomes darkness. Similarly, mind has got manifest, unmanifest conditions. Atma is ever shining. But mind, for example, suppose you are in America. You are sleeping when people in India are awake. So when you are sleeping, your mind is not awake to the world. At that time, Atma is there or not? Atma is very much there. But only the medium is not available. That was verse number 17. Next verse.
देहेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धि देहेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धि प्रकृतिभ्यो विलक्षणम् प्रकृतिभ्यो विलक्षणम् तद्वृत्ति साक्षिणं विद्यात् तद्वृत्ति साक्षिणं विद्यात् आत्मानं राजवत् सदा आत्मानं राजवत् सदा.
Here, Shankaracharya compares the Atma like a king. Body, mind, sense, organs, they are all made up of matter. Prakriti. In English, we call it as nature. Panchabhutas, 5 elements. What is the role of Atma and what is the role of Prakriti? Prakriti is born and gone. It comes and it goes away. Atma is ever there. It is a witness of the functions of the body and the sense organs and the mind. Very important function. Keep it in mind, this important verse. Atma is available all the time as a witness. It is not participating in any of the functions of the body, mind, and the world. But only in its presence, the world interacts, world has transactions, the body gets the life, and it interacts with the world. So this consciousness, which is called as Atma, is an independent entity. That is the principle we have to understand in this course. Electricity and fan or a light bulb. Electricity is independent of the fan. Is the fan independent of electricity? No. Fan is dependent on electricity for its manifestation. Modern science can study only the field of matter. When it comes to Atma, modern science fails because science depends on data collected from the five sense organs. Atma cannot be collected as a data from the five sense organs. It is the Shastra, it is the scriptures which reveal the Atma. The sense organs and the mind cannot reveal the Atma because they themselves are revealed. Dhiyate iti deha. Dahati iti deha. What is the definition of deha, the body? Body is decorated. It is one of the definitions. It can be anointed, smeared, washed, and so on. Or another definition of a body is dahati. Dahati means it is cremated. It is a temporary bundle of panchabhutas. It is a changing, it is ever changing. Right from the time I am born, every second my body is changing. So Prakriti, the nature is always changing. That is the nature of matter. But Atma is not Prakriti. Atma is not matter. It is non-matter. Body is made up of matter, panchakoshas. Like the pot is matter. So beyond the five koshas, which are all made up of subtle matter, there is something which is called as the seer of those matter principle. I am the experiencer. I means what here? Atma. Atma means what? The light of consciousness. Without the light of consciousness, this entire body mind cannot function. It is the life in us. Atma is what? It is the inner essence of the body mind complex. There is a method, there are two methods. One is called as Drik Drishya Viveka, another is called as Neti Neti. We are going to see Neti Neti a little bit later in a different verse which will come in the same Atma Bodha. And what does this principle of Drik Drishyam says? Very simple. Suppose I'm experiencing a clip, or I experience a table or a chair, or I'm experiencing something in the world. Body is also another form of experience. When a clip is experienced, I don't say I am the clip. I don't say I am the phone, mobile phone. I don't say I am whatever. The experienced object is different, and I, the seer or experiencer, is different. So what Shankaracharya says is, he says, body and mind is also an object of experience. I use my spectacles to see the world. When I see the world through the spectacles becomes an instrument. When I am holding the spectacles in my hand and trying to clean the spectacles is an object. When I put it on, it becomes the instrument. Apply the same rule to your mind. This is where you have to extend. The example is very clear, it's very simple. When it comes to spectacles, very easy. Again, I repeat, this is a very fine example to know Atma. When I am in the dream state, is the mind an object or an instrument? I am seeing the dream. So mind is an object in dream state. In the waking state, the mind becomes instrument to see the external world. External world is there of Panchabhutas. There are trees, there are rivers, there are mountains, there are so many things outside, stars, the entire cosmos is there. I am there. I, the Atma, am there. I'm the consciousness principle. Through the mind and the sense organs, I experience the world. So, sense organs and the mind are instruments for the Atma to experience the world. So, mind serves as an object during dream state. Mind serves as an object, come instrument in the waking. In both this dream and waking, I, the Atma, the experiencer, I am not undergoing any change. I am the consciousness principle. I am ever illumined factor. The mind becomes awake, the sense organs become awake. With the help of these instruments, I experience the world. So, Drishyam is the world of Anatma. Drik is the Atma, which is the seer. Are you getting the point? If you're not getting this, you can put a question in the chat box. I can repeat this example again. So there are two methods by which you can arrive at Atma. You can say everything is Drishyam, but the seer consciousness is with the Atma. That is one method. The second method is I keep on dropping everything. The sun is not me, the mountains is not me, the the wall is not me, the table is not me, the phone is not me, this body is also not me. It is only made up of 5 elements. It is gross body. It is there today, it may not be there afterwards. Then go deeper into yourself. The prana is not me. It is the breath. It is jadam in nature. Go still further. The mind is not me because it is there in the waking state. In the dream state, I see some other mind. In the sleep state, there is no mind at all. How can I be? I can still exist. Nobody says I don't exist in sleep state. Everybody says I exist. Only thing is the world was not available for an experience. So for everything else, I drop everything else as anatma, but ultimate, the seer, I can never negate. So in the sleep state, I drop the body and mind and I rest on my own true nature. That Atma, that is what is called as Atma. So subject is always different from the object. Eyes can see everything else, but eyes can never know itself. The tongue tastes everything else in the world, but it cannot know itself. The phone can ring all the numbers in the world, but it cannot ring its own number. So similarly, all the conditions of the mind like raga, dvesha, attachment, aversion, jealousy, then so many different feelings which we have, emotions, they are not me. They are the functions of the body and mind. Transactions, I depend on the body and mind. This is an important statement. I repeat, for transactions, I depend on the body and mind in the world. For existence, I do not require the body, mind, and the world. Atma by itself exists. It has an independent existence. That is the nature of Atma. The transactions end when the body dies. The body may die, but the mind takes another body. That is what the Shastra tells me. So transactions keep on going from birth to birth. But in all those conditions of the body and mind, I, the Atma, am ever the self shining existence principle. The Sakshi or Atma is like the Raja, like the king. He's always there. The ministers may come and go, but the king always remains. In a simple way, that is how Karacharya explains this verse. Next verse.
व्यापृतेष्वेन्द्रियेष्वात्मा व्यापृतेष्वेन्द्रियेष्वात्मा व्यापारी वा विवेकिनाम् व्यापारी वा विवेकिनाम् दृश्यते भ्रेषु धावत्सु दृश्यते भ्रेषु धावत्सु धावन्निव यथा शशी धावन्निव यथा शशी.
The same teaching of the 18th verse is repeated in the 19th verse. If you have understood that I am the Atma, always independently existing without the body, mind, and the world, it is easy for you to understand the 19th verse. 19th verse, what does it say? Suppose you're standing at the balcony of your house and you're looking outside when the moon is there and there is clouds in the sky. When the clouds are moving, the moon, which is superimposed with the clouds, appears to be moving. I'm sure that all of you might have experienced this sometime or the other. If you have not experienced it, next time when there are some clouds on the moon, remember Atma Bodha teaching. Look outside and see whether the moon is moving or not. You will be surprised, and our eyes will show that the moon is moving, but actually, what is happening? Clouds are moving. Apply this example to our own nature. I am the Atma which never moves, which is always stationary. which exists in all the periods of time, whether the body is there or not, whether I experience the body is there or body in my sleep or not. I, the Atma, am ever there. With or without the body manifestations, I, the Atma, am always existing. When the body is suddenly, when I see it in the waking state, I see the body, and then the body moves from India to America, from Singapore to India, and so on. Body is moving. When the body is moving, I say, I am moving, I am traveling. For Vyavahara, you should say all that. But what Shankaracharya says is, as Atma, your all pervading self, and you never move anywhere because there is no space where you're not there as Atma, as awareness. Here, always, whenever you say Atma, try to understand it is an awareness principle. Awareness means what? Consciousness principle. So, whether you go to Swaraloka, Pitruloka, or you go to different countries in the world, what travels is not Atma, but it is the body mind which travels. Because of delusion of my superimposing myself with the mind and the body, I say I am moving, I am suffering. When the mind has got thoughts of suffering or delusion, I say I am suffering, I am deluded. Shankaracharya wants us to separate the body mind from Atma. Atma is achalaha. Achalaha means non-moving. Sarvagataha. Sarvagataha means it is everywhere, all pervading. For example, the light of the sun. It is everywhere you go. Light of sun is there all around. Whether you are in Africa, whether you are in India, whether you're in Singapore, whether you're in Japan or China or America, light of the sun is all pervading. Similarly, our nature as consciousness, as awareness, does not travel, it is all pervading nature. That is the teaching in this particular verse. You see, in all these simple verses, Shankaracharya brings out the nature of Atma, which we will use it in Bhagavad Gita. In second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse which says, Atma never dies, Atma never is born. At that time, you should apply these teachings which says it is ever present. Thoughts are moving in the mind. Mind has got thoughts and consciousness. All the time I focused on the mind, which is the emotions in the mind. That is called as preoccupation of the mind with the thoughts of the world. What Shankaracharya wants you to do is, he wants us to take one step backward. He says, when your mind is full of passion, this for desires and attachments and or aversions, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Suppose your mind is saying this. He says, take one step back. Who is saying this? Mind is saying, I am not saying. Mind is having thoughts. I am the thoughtless consciousness awareness. That is the lesson we have to learn, and we have to apply that in our daily life. Whenever your mind is agitated, okay, let it be agitated for say half an hour. Then you come back to your drawing room, your room, green room, and say to yourself, The last 30 minutes, my mind was playing, but was in delusion. It forgot its nature and then it went on quarreling with somebody else. I am not that mind. I am someone which illumined the thoughts in the mind. That is what is called Atma Bodha. Thus, the nature of Atma. Till you come to study scriptures, you will never know the nature of Atma. This is very clearly expressed in the scriptures. You will remain as an agyani, an ignorant person, ignorant not with reference to the world, ignorant with reference to the self. Next verse.
आत्मचैतन्यमाश्रित्य आत्मचैतन्यमाश्रित्य देहेन्द्रियमनोधियः देहेन्द्रियमनोधियः स्वक्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्ते स्वक्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्ते सूर्यालोकं यथा जनाः सूर्यालोकं यथा जनाः.
Once again, Shankaracharya brings out the nature of Atma. In all these verses from 15 to 30, Shankaracharya brilliantly explains in very simple terms with examples, who am I? I am of the nature of Chaitanyam. In all these 15 verses, you should remember Sat Chit Ananda. 3 words describe my eternal nature. I am given a name as Vijaya, as Shama, when I am born with a body. But who am I without this body? The name given to you is Atma. For everybody. The whole universe of jivas, all jivas are nothing but this Atma. Here, the example given is in a field, when the sun rises, the farmers go to work. In the darkness, in the evening, the farmers retire into their houses. Like, for example, we go to office in the morning, we come back to our house in the night. So with the help of sunlight, all transactions in the whole cosmos takes place, in the whole world takes place of jivas. Even plants and animals, they depend on sunlight. So sunlight is like the Atma with reference to the body and mind and the sense organs. Atma, depending on this Atma, the sense organs, they function during the waking state and then they retire in the sleep state. Same thing, mind also. It wakes up in the morning, mind goes to sleep at night. That is exactly what is said in this verse. It explains to us what is the nature of Atma and what is the nature of Anatma. Anatma means body, mind. And body, mind is matter. Atma is the spiritual content, consciousness. So consciousness is a changeless principle. Previously we said consciousness is an all-pervading principle. It is an illuminating principle. Now we are saying it is a changeless principle. Activities go on, in the three sharirams and the five koshas: gross body, subtle body, causal. Activities go on in the screen of a TV. Movies are played. The screen is like the consciousness. The moves are our body and mind, which keep on throwing different experiences of the world. The experiences, the mood comes and goes. But the screen of consciousness is ever there. It is a changeless principle. The sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, they will bring the objects of the world into our mind. Form and color, sound, smell, taste, touch, all this will be felt in our mind. And in our mind, we see the world. External world is external, but where do we experience the external world? All of us, we experience the external world in our mind. Another mind-boggling revelation of scriptures. Very difficult for us to absorb this knowledge. But when you think deeply, all of us will accept the world exists in our mind. When the mind goes to sleep, the world is not there. Simple logic. Therefore, what? Mind karanam is the cause of the world. Mind is the cause of resolution of the world. And in both manifestation and resolution, what remains all the time? What is the adhishtanam? What is the substratum which is holding this manifestation and unmanifestation? That holder is called as consciousness, awareness. When we talk of the world, we always describe the world in two levels in the scriptures, in the Vedanta. Individual level and the cosmic level. Individual level is called as Vyashti, micro. Cosmic level, macro. Both this micro and macro is only a medium. Medium is means what? It is only a reflection of the consciousness, like the reflection of consciousness, like the reflection of moon in a small puddle of water and in the ocean. The ocean is like the Ishvara, it is like the cosmos, it is where it is the samashti, macro. Small pot is my mind, micro. So there are two reflecting mediums. One is micro, another is macro. Macro is called as Ishvara. Micro is called as Jiva. What Veda wants us to say is behind the Jiva micro reflecting surface and the macro Ishvara, which is also a reflecting medium, there is a common element, and that is what is called as Atma. So, how should I claim my real nature? I should claim my real nature as I am not the micro body, I am not the macro Ishvara, but I am behind both of them. I am the original consciousness. So, in Mandukya Upanishad, there is a verse which I have quoted here in the second chapter. It says that the body depends on Atma for its existence. Atma does not depend on the body. Atma is independently existing, like the Surya Prakasha. Whether there is activities going on or not, whether people are sleeping, whether people are awake, they are acting, Surya is always there. Similarly, Atma, which is compared to Surya, is always there whether the body mind is functioning or not. Beautiful verses of Atma Bodha. This entire section 15 to 30 describes the nature of Atma, which we will discuss in very big detail when we study Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. What Shankaracharya has done for students, beginners, is he has brought a garland of 68 verses in Atma Bodha, and he has stitched together this garland with wonderful colored flowers of describing the Atma and making a garland out of it. Beautiful section of Atma Bodha. Next is verse number 21.
देहेन्द्रियगुणान् कर्माणि देहेन्द्रियगुणान् कर्माणि यमले सच्चिदात्मनि अमले सच्चिदात्मनि अध्यस्यन्त्यविवेकेन अध्यस्यन्त्यविवेकेन गगने नीलतादिवत् गगने नीलतादिवत्.
Shankaracharya gives a beautiful example of to describe a jnani, a wise person, and an ajnani, an ignorant person. He gives the example of blue sky, blue color of the sky. Now, the color of the sky, is it really blue? The space, is it really blue, or is it transparent, like the crystal? Space is like the crystal. The blueness comes when you put like in a crystal, you put a red flower behind the crystal, then the crystal looks red. Blueness of the sky is nothing but it is the particles which are shining in the sunlight, and that particles shining in sunlight is the blue color. So he says a wise man will say the sky is transparent, an ignorant person will say the sky is blue. Come back to our study of Atma Bodha. A wise man will say Atma is my real self, and it is of the nature of Satyam, Chaitanyam, consciousness, and blissful. Ever blissful, because there's nothing else except Atma. This is how Shankaracharya wants us to differentiate between Atma and mind. See, in all these 15, 16 verses, the comparison is always between Atma and body, mind, and sense organs. We have to learn through these examples, we have to slowly, in our own mind, we have to say, I am the Atma, I am not the mind which is made up of three gunas. I will explain that to you a little later. So, what is this mind? I'll give you a little bit background to this mind and thoughts. See, whenever we do some actions in this birth or previous birth or any other births, the body does actions. Body does actions. The result of action doesn't come immediately. I have discussed this in Tattva Bodha, the end portion of Tattva Bodha, where I discuss the law of karma. Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agami karma. Karma means actions or the result of actions. Phalam, karma, phalam. The karma phalam, the result expresses in this body as the thoughts in the mind. This is revealed by the Shastra. It is not revealed by science. Science is very far away from it. Science doesn't know what is the thought. They have not understood the nature of thought. But Shastra has clearly understood. So this mind, when it expresses or when it comes up in the form of thoughts, those thoughts are either they are of a doer of action or an enjoyer of actions, or simply pramata, experiencer of the world. There are three forms of thoughts: pramata, karta, bhog. What is Atma? Atma is Nitya Karta. It is never a doer. It is only illumining the thoughts. In the presence of Atma, the thoughts, they bubble up. They become a doer of action, enjoyer of action, or experiencer of the world, perceiver of the world. In Bhagavad Gita, in the third chapter, which is the Karma Yoga chapter, Lord Krishna says there, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahakara vimudhatma kartarahmati manyate. One of the central verses of the third chapter, which is the 27th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Very important verse. All of us, we think that we are the doer of actions. We think it is a notion in our mind, I am doing, I am enjoying. What Veda wants us to realize is it is the mind which is the doer, mind and body which is the perceiver of the world. I am neither the doer, neither the enjoyer of the world. I am the Atma, Sakshi Chaitanyam. The Karta, Bhokta, Pramata together is called as the ego I. Ahamkara I. This ahamkara, which belongs to the mind, is wrongly transferred to the Atma because of superimposition, or what we call it as adhyasa. It's a very important teaching in Vedanta. It is a natural phenomena which is happening in the world. By nature, I superimpose the body and the sense organs and the mind onto my nature, which is Atma. What is moksha? Moksha is by knowledge of Atma, I drop these notions into the body, mind, and the world, which is called as anatma. And then what do? I claim the pure Atma as my real intrinsic nature. The whole spiritual journey is to do this bifurcation of Atma and mind. And it takes a lot of time because our mind is not an easy thing to control. It is not an easy thing to watch also. Because it is running, all the time it is running. So like the blue sky, the color of dust particles is transformed to the colorless space. The three sharirams, the body, gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body, the properties of these three bodies are transformed to the Atma. In the waking state, the physical body is superimposed. In the dream state, the mind, the subtle body is superimposed on Atma. In the sleep state, the Ajnana Avastha, ignorance, the causal body is superimposed on Atma. Like the elephant throws mud on itself after taking a clean bath in the lake. The moment it comes out, it throws the mud and then it becomes dirty. What do we do? Same thing. As soon as we wake up, all the properties of the mind and the body and the sense organs, we say, I am all that. In the sleep state, I'm totally ignorant of Atma. Veda has to come and reveal this to me. I am the Atma. This Atma is of a higher nature. Higher nature means what? Like the waker and the dreamer and the sleeper. The sleeper is not the waker. Sleeper is of a lower order of reality. Atma is of a higher order of reality. We call this higher order as Paramarthika Satyam, absolute nature. There is a wonderful work done by Shankaracharya called Nirvana Shatkam. Beautiful verses are there where you learn to meditate on Atma and drop the attributes of Anat. In the third verse, it says about all our functions of the mind. Name dvesha ragau, name lobha mohau, mado naiva me naiva matsarya bhavaha. Na dharmo na chartho na kamo na mokshaha, chidananda rupaha, shivoham shivoham. Very beautiful verses. In my Sunday classes, I have taken meditation and all these verses. In my website, you will find over 200 meditation sessions on Vedantic meditation. How I can use the Vedantic mantras for meditating on Atma. So we have to drop this conditioning of mind from our pure nature, that is the essence of the 21st verse. Next verse.
Ajnanan manasopadheः Ajnanan manasopadheः Kartruttvadini chatmani Kartruttvadini chatmani Kalpyante mbugate chandre Kalpyante mbugate chandre Chalanadi yathambasah Chalanadi yathambasah.
Again, a wonderful example taken by Shankaracharya. Suppose you are looking at a reflection of moon in a small lake or a puddle of water or in some watery surface. Suppose the wind comes and moves the water. It forms bubbles. It goes, the wind will disturb the water surface. What will happen to the reflection of moon on the water? The moon also will be dancing. What will the wise man think? wise man will say the water is moving, not the moon. Moon cannot move because moon is up in the clouds. It is stationary. What will the ignorant person say? Oh, the moon is dancing up and down. What happened to the moon today? He has forgotten, he has superimposed the moon on the water. Similarly, we all are superimposing our mind, which is an agent for all the actions, which is an instrument for all the actions, onto our self, which is Atma. We don't realize this because the mind is closest to Atma. The external body is little further away. The sense organs are little further away. World is farther away, very far away. So Atma is in the center. We superimpose all the functions of these other external organs and the world, and we suffer. That is the essence of the 22nd verse. In Taittiriya Upanishad, a student thinks, why did I commit all these sins? Why I have not done good in the world? This is an Ajnani student thought process. What will a Jnani think? I never do anything good or bad. I am always the Atma. So the Karta has got only a limited knowledge because he's taken the ego as himself. Karta and Bhokta can never be free at any time because that is the nature of Karta and Bhokta. Karta Bhokta means what? The doer of action and the enjoyer of action. In this body, there is an ego which does the action, and there is the ego which is enjoying the actions. Atma is the illuminator of this ego. So, doership and enjoyment is superimposed on the Atma. That is what Shankaracharya wants to convey in this verse. Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam. Prakrite kriyamanaani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahakara vimudhatma kartaranti manyate. Again, the 27th verse of 3rd chapter. Tattvavittu mahabhavo gunakarma vibhagayoho gunaguneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. The wise man knows that it is the gunas of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These are the three qualities of the nature of 5 elements, which are designed by the Lord to make this body a karta or a bhokta. The motion of water is falsely transformed the motionless moon. Similarly, the motion of anatma, mind, is transferred to the atma, which is always motionless, always pure. Doership of the body mind is transferred to atma. All this shows there is some error which is happening in this body mind with reference to the Atma. The spiritual journey consists of removing this error and claiming the pure Atma as my real nature. Regarding the 3 gunas, we will study more details in Bhagavad Gita in the 13th chapter. Here Shankaracharya only says guna means the nature. It is prakriti, nature. I should understand the nature of the body is to act. Nature of Prakriti is to act. I am different than Prakriti. I am the witness consciousness principle who illumines the doership of the body. These are all subtle topics, but as you study further and further, these ideas about Atma will become more and more clear. When you study Bhagavad Gita, to a certain extent, the nature of Atma, the nature of yourself will be clear. When you study Upanishads, it will become more clear. When you study Brahma Sutra, your doubts in the intellect will go away. When the doubts go away, the delusions will go away. When the delusions go away, I can own that pure Atma awareness principle as my real. What is the benefit of holding on to Atma as my real nature? The real benefit is I will drop samsara, dukkham. Dukkha nivritti takes place. Dukkha nivritti means what? I will not be bothered about any experiences of pain or pleasure. I will always remain samatva buddhi, which is the nature of Atma. Next, 23rd verse.
रागेच्छा सुखदुःखादि रागेच्छा सुखदुःखादि बुद्धौ सत्यां प्रवर्तते बुद्धौ सत्यां प्रवर्तते सुषुप्तौ नास्ति तन्नाशे सुषुप्तौ नास्ति तन्नाशे तस्माद् बुद्धेस्तु नात्मनः तस्माद् बुद्धेस्तु नात्मनः.
The challenge for all the seekers is the segregation of mind. Here, Shankaracharya in the 23rd verse explains to us how to differentiate or how to understand my mind. Very beautifully, he explains this in this verse. Attachment, which is raga, dvesha, kama, pleasure, desire, pain, all this is perceived to exist where my mind and intellect is functioning in the waking state. When you are studying Atma Bodha, you should consciously think about your three states of existence. I exist in waking state. I exist in dream state. I exist in sleep state. In the waking state, my mind is fully active. And I experience a lot of desires, lot of pleasure, pain. In the dream state, this pleasure and pain, the Jagrata Avastha is not there. But I exist. Only taking in or experiencing the impressions of the Jagrata Avastha in the dream state. In the sleep state, I am there. Totally my mind gets dropped. And I exist as in my Swarupa called as Atma Swarupa in the sleep state, which I don't know. That is my Swarupa is the problem. I don't know is the problem. Suppose a guru comes and says that you are not the Jagrat Avastha person, you are not the dream Avastha person, you are not the sleep Avastha person, but you are the Atma, the awareness, Sakshi Chaitanyam, which is eternal, which is beyond time and space. Then you realize the higher nature, which is called as Paramarthika Satya. Is an important verse because it deals with the mind. Attributes of the mind are taken up and discarded, negated. Raga and Ichha, attachment and desire. What is the difference between raga, attachment? Attachment is always towards what I possess. Ichha is desire also. It is desire for what I don't possess. Now, both this attachment and desire are functions of the mind. It is not me. Whenever I go after my desire, I may get sukham or dukkham. I may get the object, I may not get the object. If I get the object, I am very happy. If I don't get the object, I am sad. Now, all this sukham and dukkham is all happening in the world. It is not that we don't say that it is not there. We say it is there as per the law of karma. The three states are happening as per the law of karma of the body. Waking state, dream state, sleep state. Who is governing all this? There is some external governor of all this, which we call it as Ishvara. But beyond this body, beyond this mind, sense organs, and Ishvara, there is an absolute Vastu. It's called Sakshi, which never gets, which is always there, but it never identifies with the three nature of the mind. So I have to become a Sakshi and get moksha Swarupam. How do I get this? By Viveka Shakti. When I study scriptures, I learn, my intellect learns how to draw my mind. Without the learning, without listening to the scriptures, Shravanam, you cannot drop your mind. When I say you cannot drop your mind means your identification of mind as the self. I, the self, am always there, but I don't know that. How do I know? How do I get to know the self? Is by dropping the mind. And for dropping the mind, I need to do Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyas. Shravanam means listening to the scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, I have to keep listening. It may take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, doesn't matter. Once a week, I listen. It doesn't stop there. I have to do mananam. Mananam means my mind has to think. Vedanta or scriptural study is not only listening. My mind must get some time to think about what I learned. And then last, that is called as mananam, reflection. The last area is nididhyas. Nididhyasanam is trying to drop the idea that I am not the mind, I am the Atma. Now, mind can never be free from 100% free from all the problems. Never. That is the nature of the mind. It will keep on tossing up and down as per the conditions outside. What I can do then, I can distance myself from the mind. That is what Vedanta teaches you. How to disidentify with the physical body, with the subtle body, and the causal body. Causal body is the most difficult because it is invisible to me. At least mind, I can feel it. I can say these feelings are not me. So disidentify with from the mind the three sharirans and claiming the freedom of Atma is the entire spiritual journey. Next verse.
प्रकाशोर्कस्यतो यस्य प्रकाशोर्कस्यतो यस्य शैत्यमग्नेर्यथोष्णता शैत्यमग्नेर्यतोष्णता स्वभाव सच्चिदानन्द स्वभाव सच्चिदानन्द नित्यनिर्मलतात्मनः नित्यनिर्मलतात्मनः.
This is a simple verse. It only tells us what is the nature, intrinsic nature of different objects in the world and what is the intrinsic nature of Atma. So, first of all, I have to drop the attributes of an Atma and then claim the nature of the self. Gunas belong to the anatma. Guna means what? Activity, then knowledge, inertia. These are all the different gunas of the world of anatma. So I drop them and then I own the nirguna atma. Nirguna atma is the Satchidananda principle. Like we studied the clip, I'm not the clip, I am not a part of the clip, I'm all those things we have studied before. So Ananda Swarupa is the nature of Atma, exactly like the sun. Luminosity of the sun, it is its nature. Coolness of water, that is its nature. Satchidananda Swarupa is the nature of Atma. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse in the second chapter, 22nd verse, which says, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. Like I put on dresses every day and remove the dresses every day, I, the Atma, put on body and mind in the waking state and drop this body and mind in the sleep state. Am I? I am not the body and mind which is put on every day in Jagrat Avastha and dropped in the Sushupti Avastha, which is the sleep state. I am the pure Atma, which is always there without these vestures. That pure Atma, which is there in our state as the something which is beyond the sleep state of the mind, is pure existence, consciousness. Like the heat of fire is always there in fire. Similarly, Atma's Satchidananda nature is always there. Whether you know whether you are a jnani or a jnani, Atma is Atma. Atma is always self-evident consciousness principle. Timeless, limitless, uncontaminated. Nothing of the punyam and parpam of the body-mind complex can affect Atma. It's Rupa Dhyanam, Arupa Dhyanam. We have to contemplate on this nature of Atma, which is relationless, like the space, which is untouchable. You cannot touch space. You cannot hold space. It is all pervading space, which is asangaha. Asangaha means it cannot be held, it cannot be grasped by the hand. It is relationless. Similarly, Atma is relationless, which means what? All this punya papam of the body and mind complex, I learn Atma Bodha to drop it. In all these verses, from 15 to 30, we are doing only one thing, trying to learn what is Atma and what is Anatma. Then we are saying, hold on to Atma and drop the Anatma. Anatma means body mind. The moment you drop body and mind, automatically the world goes in. Because world exists only when the body mind is there. One must consciously understand the nature of this mind, which has got three states: waking, dream, and sleep. The moment you understand the three natures of the mind and know that I can drop it, it is droppable, it is negatable, bhadyam, then Atma can be held. Okay, so this is the 24th verse. Next week we will do the 25th verse. We'll close the session today with the 24th verse. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll see if there are any questions in the chat box. And there are no questions today. So in case you have any questions, you can raise your hand and you can ask. Yeah, Shama, go ahead.
Hari Om Shekharji.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just, I can't help reflecting on, when you're describing the movement of the moon when the clouds are moving.
Yeah.
So that kind of an illusion which is created. And so then, of course, I couldn't help thinking about illusions which is created in the world of physics, which our famous Einstein described in his theory of relativity and all that. So that is one illusion, but that's a perceptual illusion they are talking about, which is in the phenomenal world, isn't it?
Correct.
But
That's
here
right.
in Advaita Vedanta, we are actually seeing illusion, mithya, maya, and that is in a different inner world, isn't it? So it's two very different illusions. But I was just saying that I couldn't help thinking about it, because there is also the illusion of the mirage water, which is going by very definite laws of physics,
Correct.
Even all the climate change and everything. So there's definite laws of, and here the difficulty in our inner journey is that we are struggling to see the laws. Vedanta is trying to describe so many different methods and means of learning and understanding it. And yet it feels like one is groping in the dark quite often. And partly it is, what you were describing today about the kartritva, bhoktritva, and the knower illusion.
Correct.
So we all have this illusion. And that probably is a huge, huge limiting factor where it is. You talked about this idea of when this ego ship is dropped, but the ego ship will not be dropped till the whole body consciousness completely goes away, isn't it?
Correct.
Body means it includes the mind. So, in the temporary while, how does one deal with? And it's quite a struggle in the sense that, just when you think that you're getting away, in your knowledge perspective, you know what is what and what is not intellectually. And yet, the frustration when you find that, despite understanding the principles, you can't. So often you get caught into these thought and the thought vritti, which is so engulfing. I keep on coming to this predicament all the time. I keep asking, and so is that how would one know that this has been dropped away forever?
Okay, good. Shama, what you have brought about is a very, very fundamental problem for all of us,
Uh-huh.
which is the ego problem. Ego consists of three states in which the I appears. I appears in the
Mm-hmm.
waking state as the waker. That is one part of the
Mm-hmm.
ego. The same I appears in the dream
Correct.
state as the dreamer. And then the same I
Uh-huh.
appears in the sleep state as the sleeper. So,
Correct.
what you have to do is sometime you have to contemplate on this ego and say and find out whether this ego is your real self or is egoless Atma is the real self. Contemplation is required. You must sit down sometime in meditation and think for yourself, do I exist separate from this ego I? Or am I this ego I
Yeah.
all the time? Now, when you do this type of
I think
analysis,
that happens quite nicely.
correct,
Mm-hmm.
it happens automatically for all of us. It is a natural
Mm-hmm.
way of life in this body mind
Yeah.
complex. Natural way. That is how
Correct.
God created all of us. I didn't choose to become the ego and identity with the body. These are all natural things which is happening in my life. What Veda says
Yeah.
is, this is Prakriti, but you have to drop the Prakriti to come to Purusha, which is Atma. Purusha is what I'm trying to discover through my
Correct.
study, through my
Mm-hmm.
reflections, through my
Mm-hmm.
claiming. All the time, my goal is Purusha only. Purusha means what? Pure
Correct.
Atma
Correct. There's no doubt.
of the body, mind, and the world. Your
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mind should get this impact. At some time, it should get the
Mm-hmm.
impact
Mm-hmm.
of the study which you are doing. See, many of us, we do the study, but it just, you hear it and then you forget. You hear it and then you forget. And then it comes and goes away. You know,
So the impact is very, very profound. I will say
yes,
it's very
unless and
profound
until
because
the impact
sometimes
happens,
you can,
that impact will
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
Shankaracharya says in Kathopanishad Bhashyam, he says very
uh-huh,
beautifully. He says this impact of
uh-huh,
Atma will happen when you try to claim or tell your own mind
yeah,
daily, I am the
yeah,
Atma,
yeah,
I am the witness, I am not the body mind complex.
yeah. No, it does happen, and it's very beautiful
Correct.
because
When it
it can
happens,
the
you feel
uh,
very relaxed.
very relaxed, and it's quite crazy as well, because
Correct.
like I
And
was having food. I was having food and I was thinking, so my mind is hungry and now it is telling my hand to feed the mouth. So imagine it has engaged so many different parts of my body to serve who? Who is it serving? All the mouth, the hand. So it's interesting, in a light of awareness, you are actually watching all this process, which
correct.
normally it will be an automatic process. I wouldn't be aware of it. Yeah. So that
The,
part is on. But by the
the more
same
this
token, you're
impact,
able
the
to
more
see the negative side as well, where you can see your mind slipping away, or like dragging you. And that's the bit which feels very despairing, that, oh, you're still so vulnerable, to your
I,
ego.
correct. You
So
see,
that is
uh,
a,
what
yeah.
what you are facing, Shama, is exactly everybody will face in the spiritual path. They may not know
But it
how
will
to
go, no?
express it, but you are expressing it so beautifully, and you're saying, okay,
Uh,
I'm experiencing this, but at the same time, I'm able to withdraw and come into my shell of Atma. Now, this process
yeah.
has started happening in you. The more this process happens, the more that impact of the study will happen in your own mind, and you will find that the reduction of sorrow will definitely be felt by you. That you don't feel so
And there
much of
is
sorrow in life.
and there is nothing you would think as an instruction. I sometimes wonder whether, any negative thoughts or negative feelings, is it asking me to do something,
Correct.
which I should make note of? This is the question which I have, or shall I just ignore it? Because I mean, they sound very useless types,
Yeah. See, sometimes we not be able to
I
ignore
think
it
it's
because of prarabdha karma.
um,
You see, the prarabdha karma will push you into these thoughts and will give you the phala. You know, so those times,
just
if
ignore
you are
it.
not able to control it, you just say, "This is my prarabdha karma. I'm just going through my life as designed by the Lord, and I will go through it. But at the same time, I have the knowledge. I am always free from this."
And just watch it
Correct.
go away like a smoke
Watch
into
it
the
like a
air,
movie.
cloud.
You know,
Yeah, smoke.
yesterday's
And on the other hand,
experiences.
focus on this steady flame, steady flame. So like in puja, you have an incense stick which has the kind of whirling incense features. So that's disappearing like that, and the focus can be on the steady flame, the flame which I have lit. So
Correct.
Hannah, so moving away from there and focusing on where I need to focus.
Correct. Good, Shama. What you have described is very it's good to see how you are able to reflect on all this. Good. Your mananam has increased a lot. I can see that.
Yes, but
Thank you,
I
Shama.
will have to keep walking this path. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Thank
Anybody
you.
else
Thank
has
you so
any other
much.
question? If there are no questions, then we'll stop here and then we'll continue next week. We have 68 verses in Atma Bodha. Uh, we will continue the 25th verse next week. Thank you. Namaste. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om, Shekhar ji. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.